Right guys, welcome back. Thank you for sticking around. I'm obviously just doing all the planning and everything. P3D semi-loaded in the background, so I just want to quickly export all my flight plans. That's not a problem. We can continue. It looks funny. Went the wrong airport. Thank you, Sentinel. Welcome back. Got my active sky for P3D running. This is P3D starting up now. I'll probably come back shortly. Okay, so the plan is take the PMDG 737. We're going to fly P3D this time, not X-plane. We're going to fly from King Shaka to Lanseria on request. And the alternate will be Johannesburg International, Oliver Tambo. So I'm just planning that out in Navigraph as we speak. Some of these charts have not been updated like this one. Also the previous star one was not updated, so the aircraft will not show on them. That's why I just keep it on the Zebo tablet on the map page, but at least I can just have a look at that. I'll take the ILS, why not? I don't think there's a star, nope. Right, then we are basically set. Hey, Gaffer, nice to see you. Guess where we are going to land, buddy? Hey Jonas, you're back. Okay, that takes care of our planning. So we're just waiting on P3D to get a move on now. I'm expecting to see something. Give me a second. On my side, the screen has just come up, but the broadcasting software is not interested in showing us. I wonder why. Okay, let's do it this way. It might flicker a little bit when I jump in and out of the screen now, because I'm actually broadcasting my desktop and not the flight simulator. I don't know why it's not picking the sim up. Okay, let's leave it. Let's kill the music. Then we can get going. Okay, this is the Kulula 101 that we were discussing earlier. I'm sorry, I do not have FlySaf Air liveries. It seems not for P3D. This is also the NMG King Sharka version, and obviously it was the same creator whose software we used in X-Plane as well. And this is basically just P3D versus X-Plane, right? So there we have the ground power. Guys, I'm going to quickly take my mic off push to talk. It's just going to make it easier for me. If there's a noise, I apologize. If the kids go crazy, I apologize or, on behalf of them already. And shout if there is a problem on your side with me doing that. Alright, there we go. Now I don't have to press a button to speak to you. So the fuel that we require, block fuel, is 4 tons. In terms of the payload, 162 passengers, and we only have 200 kilograms of cargo, so we're going to be a bit light today. This is GSX, for those of you that don't know, the little men walking around in the ground services is just from FS Dream Team, GSX. Starting number 2. Flaps 5 and we'll wait for the green light there. And we have a green light, so that's good. So flaps are set. Everything else is set, thank you. See you going. Aha. That's kind of important, we can't forget that. The back's going. Come on, isolation valve, and get you off and switch you off. Okay, well, little man, wherever you are, just don't be in front of my wheels now. Okay, I just want to quickly load the flight plan in active sky again.
Foxtrot, Alpha, Lima, Echo, airport information, Foxtrot, 1000, Zulu, weather, wind 075, at 10, visibility 10,000, sky clear, temperature 31, dew point 22, QNH 1010, advise on initial contact you have information, Foxtrot. Foxtrot, Alpha, Lima, Echo, airport information, Foxtrot, 1000, Zulu, weather, wind 075.
Right, I seem to have missed something somewhere. Air conditioning. Let's go back. What is wrong? Air on. There's the auto. Flip. All good. I hope you guys are all okay. You're so quiet. I hope it's not shock or disbelief that's making you so quiet, but it will be nice if you guys talk with me a little bit again. Alright, we're good to go. Oh god. Here we go. Thrust set.
V1. Rotate.
V1.
V2.
Positive right and gear up. That was funny. I was pulling on the stick and obviously I'm not used to the sensitivities in P3D, so it didn't lift and I had to keep on pulling and pulling and pulling. So for the rundown, let me just quickly tell you, I'm also using Active Sky in P3D. You saw the default explain earlier. This is the default P3D, apart from the airports obviously. And this is just the way P3D renders. Matho, this is my second stream, sir. I kicked it off with my personalized livery in the Zebo. You know, that's my baby. So we flew from Johannesburg to King Shaka in the Zebo, and then we had a request from one of the viewers to do a P3D stream. So this is on a request, my friend, on request. And I can tell you one thing, this feels so strange. There's no tablet, there's the same immersion just isn't there. I'm continuously looking for something to do, you know, it's like I'm missing things to do. Yeah, YouTube is, there is a video already, but they're obviously still rendering it. It takes about 2 to 3 hours for a video to render properly, to have all the chat included and everything. But you're welcome to check later. Don't worry too much about that now, rather speak with me here now and then we'll worry about the other one later. If time permits, I'd like to do a Chart Design Airbus flight as well, probably just the same route coming back from Joburg down to Durban. I'm not sure if it's still raining. Let me quickly look at the weather. We had some nice rain in Johannesburg this morning and it was very cool to climb out of the rain and the clouds there in Joburg side. So yeah, it looks like it's raining. Where is that shortcut? Let me activate, show you guys. So this, where's Durban? This is where we are at right now, Durban. And we're going to fly to approximately there where the hand is now. Yeah, exactly. It's like driving someone else's car. You're looking for buttons to press and it kind of feels weird, like you're missing something. You know, I mean, on this model here, the PMDG, let's just call it the PMDG model, I probably have at least 5,000 hours in total since it came out in 2005 or something. I'm not sure with FS9 still. I mean, I have circumvented the whole earth with this model from PMDG. It's, you know, always been my go-to, and then Zebo came along. And to come back to this, to me, is like a shock. I just hope that my calibration and my setup of my controllers are sufficient that I can actually land this. The airport where we're going to land is Lanseria. It's got a rather short runway. It's in high altitude, 4,500 foot above sea level airport, and I mean, I've landed in the cockpit in the Boeing 737-800 on that very runway. It's short. With the amount of weight and momentum that this aircraft's got, the guys brake like hell to stop, and it was a fun experience, like a roller coaster ride. So I know what it's like in the real one landing there. It's not like landing at Johannesburg, which is 10 miles northeast. I think it's northeast, something like that, with large 14 and 15,000 foot runways. You know, you've got to really know your story. So I'm going to try my best just for the hell of it. Andile, yes. I think you know by now I prefer the Zibo as well. It's just something that I grew used to now. I mean, I've been flying it for almost 2 years non-stop. Apart from the Airbus that happened 4 weeks ago where I got back involved with them. So it's awkward. And when I say awkward, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you can clearly see it works. It does what it's supposed to do. But I've moved on. In me, myself as a person, I've moved beyond this now. If I look at the whole rendering engine and I look at what I have in X-Plane, I mean, my X-Plane looks 1,000 times better than this. And it's scary when you think about the amount of money that was poured into P3D from my side to get all the add-ons and everything. Okay, South Africa is on the backside of the earth. Nobody does proper land class or ground sceneries and stuff here and there, like you see. NMG made nice scenery for airports, but this is still basically default. There's nothing special about it. Matho, it's a challenge to answer your question there. You say you used to fly it in FSX as well. I'm not sure if you could still fly it today. That's the thing, my friend. It's like you forget how to do it. It's definitely something that if you don't do it every day, it takes a minute or two longer just to find yourself in this cockpit. I'm using Ultimate Traffic live, by the way. I saw there was a traffic there on the DCAS. Now it's just gone anyway, but I do use that. And the funny thing is, the database that Ultimate Traffic uses also comes from, I think, 2002. So the new airports in South Africa simply don't exist. The aircraft can't land here, they can't take off here. And if you go and sit at Johannesburg International, for instance, it's funny because you see all these bees, they hovering above, they've got nowhere to go because they don't understand the ICAO. It's just something interesting. Let me get rid of this weather thing while we're talking. Denton, I agree. It feels like I'm flying in FSX. I don't have the memory problems. I don't run out of memory. I get good frames, I think. Let's have a look, see what frames are we getting here. It's also varying, but I mean, it's good frames. It's fine. But you're right. It feels like you're in an old sim, and X-Plane is using newer technology, and you know, for me and my money's worth, I'll stick to X-Plane any day. Andile, yes, I have. I've also demonstrated some of the lady's name is Linda, by the way. I've demonstrated some of her capabilities in some of the videos here on my channel. I haven't done an actual stream or video where we fly with her, but I have played around extensively with the idea. The only thing that I don't do with the JAR design and that AI woman is I don't use voice. I rather use the push button control, but it's like having FS2 crew in X-Plane now. It's amazing, and then she's also animated, so it looks cool when she starts pressing buttons. Hello Felix, happy new year to you too. You wish. No, this is not the Zebo. This is PMDG and we're flying for Kalula. I don't know if you guys have ever read all the writing they have on this Kalula 101. Some of it is actually quite funny. Felix, we had a special request from one of the viewers on the earlier stream when I was flying the Zebo to do a PMDG P3D video, so this is basically what we're doing now. You're just normal. You're just normal. Nobody reads the headers, or they read it and they forget. It's not a problem. We're all friends here. The other thing that's obviously, you know, making me think twice is the buttons are different. I mean, if I want to see outside in X-Plane, I go shift and number 4 at the top of the keyboard, and I'm outside. Here I've got to press S. Yeah, so you've got to continuously think about all the different buttons. At least the active sky is doing its job. Nice clouds there. Covering cumulus. Nice. Guys, by the way, if you are on my YouTube channel, just scroll down to Real World Aviation. You'll actually see me ride the jump seat with Mango Airlines that I used to work for. So you'll see us do the night landing at Lanseria if you want to see what it looks like in the real Boeing 737-800. And that one was, like I say, a night landing. It is on the YouTube channel. You can just go watch that as well. Yes, Sentinel. Everything is different. There's no F mod here, you know, so it's more stereo than anything, and it doesn't give you the same immersion at all. Sentinel, yeah, I miss it too. I miss flying. I had to give up my dream a while ago. In fact, many years ago. Always promised myself I'll go back, but so far it's not happened. That's one of the reasons why I'm actually living my dream in the simulator. It's a little bit cheaper doing it in the sim than in the real world. So, yeah, nostalgic moments. I never flew the 737-800, by the way. Never got to that point. I had to choose between starting a family and living the dream, so the family won, and I'm glad I've got 2 beautiful children now, beautiful wife. So, life makes you, it forces you sometimes to make hard choices, and you just got to live with it. Felix, we can debate that. I must be honest with you, Zibo is a work in progress, and there are a couple of pages missing from the FMC and a couple of formulas that he still needs to build in. But I think, in all honesty, if we really sit and we compare completed system against a completed system, I'm not convinced PMDG is going to win, in all honesty. I'm not convinced. There's a couple of major flaws with this model that nobody speaks about, but if you look at the windows, I mean, just to give you one example, these windows are completely modeled wrong. The windows are not this big. And this has been one of those things that nobody spoke about for many years because everybody was too afraid to offend somebody. But it's not about offending somebody, it's just, it's wrong. The windows don't look like this, so if you start there and you now start looking at the whole immersion aspect, Zibo wins in the immersion side of things 1,000,000 to 1. This doesn't even come close. This might have 1 or 2 formulas that are working better. This might have curved lines on the ND, which the Zibo, well, Lubos is still working on it. So I'm not sure. I must be honest with you. While I'm sitting here, I'm wanting to press buttons, look at my map, look at Navigraph, all these things. I mean, I've got 4 screens in front of me, so I've obviously have it on one of the screens, but it's not the same. The immersion factor, this loses by far. And then I think if we really start comparing absolute technical notes, forget emotion and all kinds of opinions, if we start comparing notes, you'll be surprised how close the two are. Sentinel, who knows? I'm 45 years old, my friend. I'm not sure an airline's going to employ me. The work that I did for Mango Airlines was all simulator related. So I've had the privilege of working with some of the nice guys in the industry and rubbing shoulder with ministers and government officials and things like that. But it wasn't actual flying as such. It was just all simulator work. And if I fly now, I'll probably just fly for myself and my family. Just get that sorted. Something else that I've also always wanted to do was to get the helicopter license. I've had the privilege of flying a couple of different ones, hands on stick for a couple of minutes here and there, nothing special. Never landed and taken off myself in a helicopter. We're just horsing around, but that's something that I've always wanted to do. I was talking to somebody in the week. Apparently, where they are from, I'm not sure about South Africa, but where they are from, you can still qualify for a first officer up to the age of 55. I'm not familiar with the air law and things governing that in South Africa, or well, for the rest of the world for that matter. I'm not in that game anymore, so I don't know. The first and foremost thing that bothers me is, okay, all very well, now you go and apply to become a first officer. What is the pay going to be? Because I've obviously worked myself into a certain position where I am, and I've obviously got some expectations of pay. There's no point in going and getting a job where you get paid 50% or 80% less, you know, just because it's a dream. So those are the kind of considerations that I have. It's much easier for me to do what we used to do in the old days, you know, get 5 guys together, buy a 210 or a Cirrus or something, you know, in a group, and then we all have shared time in the aircraft, and you know, as we need it, we just book it and we go. You know, that to me is a better option, and then I just do it for myself and my family. Thank you, Felix. Thank you. I don't think that will happen easily. I've invested a lot of money in simulation and in my rig and everything I've got going here. And by the looks of things, it's so funny. I mean, I always use the left thrust lever more than the right one, especially in the old days when I used to fly the prop jobs. Now I see my second thrust lever is busy wearing out. I don't know if you can see. Oh no, you won't, because it's flying on VNAV. But the two aren't aligned anymore, and I've tried to recalibrate them and do all these things. So I'm going to have to invest some money in a new throttle quadrant soon, it seems. Yeah, Ryanair. I love Ryanair for the virtual experience that I get flying for the VA. I don't have issues with them, and I've never flown with them in the real world. I always just giggle when I hear people, you know, talk about Ryanair and the hard landings and things. So. Right, Sentinel, we're nearing our top of descent now. Where's that thing? You see there's top of descent coming over there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the MCP at a lower altitude. Now for us to go in there, let's quickly get the chart. We need to intercept the ILS at 6,700. Alright, let me show you the chart. So if you look at this point over here, it clearly says to us we're going to intercept the ILS at 6,700. So that is why I set my value there. Now come what may, as long as autopilot is on, command A or B, and VNAV and LNAV is on, the moment it hits that little, drag this if I can, the moment we hit this little green bubble, this aircraft will start the descent, and then it's going to be up to us to manage the energy with the speed brakes. Maybe not so much above 10,000, but definitely below 10,000 it becomes critical, and then you need to make a plan to keep it you know, in the right area. Then the next thing that we need to do, just take this away, so we need to obviously set up the reference page. Now we're going to land at flaps 30, so we just double click it. It works the same in Zivo. We double click it and then you see flaps 30 at 140 knots. That's our VREF. So we're going to add 5 knots to that, and we're going to set our MCP later on onto 145 knots unless VNAV holds, and then that will manage it for us. Yeah, I'm sure this is how I took the jokes about Ryanair as well. Alright, so what we have here then is we see that we have the ILS frequency is 110.70. So we need to make sure it's in here. Right, that's the first one. Alright, our heading, the course heading. Forget I'm not in explain, I'm clicking and rolling the mouse little scroll wheel and nothing's happening. Alright, so what we need to do is we need to set the approach course to 66. Ali, I'm not sure if you are on stream, but we're going to land at the airport that you made, buddy. I hope you are still here, so you can enjoy it with us. Right, then what we're going to do in the forecast is we're going to set up our transition level. So it's flight level 080. Alright, the reason why we set this value is because the moment the aircraft hits that 8,000 foot, this needs to go yellow at the bottom here. The standard needs to go yellow to tell us that we need to press the standard button. So it's setting up the visual cue. Now I'm not going to bother about the rest. That means we're done with that. Because of the runway and all the issues I mentioned earlier, I'm most definitely going to do an auto brake 2 at minimum. I don't want to end up on the other side going down the embankment into the ravine there. What else do we need to do? I think that's about it for now. Then we need to set up minimums. What is our minimums? 218. Hello. That will then be 258. Right. And with P3D we don't have to bother setting up, but we can. Just let's make it look good. Let's get our information. Why not? Why not?
Abbreviated briefing from your current position to Foxtrot Alpha, Lima, Echo, to Foxtrot Alpha.
Foxtrot Alpha, Lima Alpha, airport information, Juliet 1100, Zulu, weather, wind 078, at 9er, visibility 8000, sky condition, ceiling 800, overcast, few clouds at 3000, light rain, temperature 18, dew point 16, QNH 1025, Bison.
Foxtrot Alpha, Lima Alpha, airport information, Kilo 1100, Zulu, weather, wind 078, at 9, visibility 8000, sky condition, ceiling 800, overcast, few clouds at 3000, light rain, temperature 18, dew point 16, QNH 1025, advise on initial contact.
Oh boy, now we've got to contend with rain as well. So, Sentinel, that's about the procedure. You have to set your MCP at the correct altitude. You have to set up the FMC with all the parameters I showed you. You have to set your auto brake, and then you set the two course values, and you have to set your nav 1 and 2. And that's it. Now we just wait. So we're getting close. That's Joburg International there. We're going to go past it on the left, and well, we're probably going to turn a little bit before that, and then from this angle go straight into runway 07. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me know. If you get stuck, just come back and watch this video and any of the other videos for that matter. You'll see me go through it even if I don't explain it. Or if you want to, then look at the Mario video where me and Mario did some training there. That I think is also a place where I explained it. But between this video and that video, I mean, you can rewind it and play it a lot of times. I'm sure you'll get it right. Right, did you see? I didn't touch anything and it started the descent automatically. What do you mean tower? Are you talking about ATC or what? I don't use any ATC program. If I want ATC, I go fly online with Iveo or VATSIM, and then I speak to people, real people that have had training, you know, that can talk back to me. Yeah, no, got it. Felix. Sebas Gaming, hello. Welcome to the stream. So this descent is looking good, and I see there's a bit of weather there in front of us, so we're going to turn left and just go for the soft terrain, I hope. Now the one nice thing about the Airbus is when you do your descent preparation, you don't have to put in the navigational frequencies for your ILS. It does that automatically. That's kind of neat. One thing that I do like about the Airbus. Felix, not at all, not at all. While I was still staff at VATSIM, we had numerous problems with it, and when I was also air traffic controller at VATSIM, and then obviously a pilot. And one of the big things with all of that, and why I mention it, is that was how we measured the quality of it, and it was bad because some weeks would pass where that weather never updates. It just didn't update. I'm not sure if they've upgraded their weather servers or if that's been fixed, but that was a problem because when you fly online and you expect people to behave a certain way because of a certain weather, and they turn around and tell you no, it's not the same, you know, fists can fly. So that was a problem. Also, the turbulence is sometimes so hectic that you can't actually fly. It's crazy. I tried to land in Cape Town one day and I gave it up for a bad job. I just rage quit and closed the simulator and walked away. And I started using NOAA weather plugin. It's free and it does the job, and I can reduce the turbulence if I want to or have to, and I did. So Sentinel, don't let that bother you. English is not my first language either. I'm thinking in Afrikaans and trying to speak in English many times, and also my tenses goes for a loop sometimes. So don't let that bother you. We're all friends here. Nobody's going to laugh at you. So coming back to the explain weather, I don't trust it and I don't use it. It's hurt me too many times, and that's why I started using the NOAA plugin, and I recently upgraded to the Active Sky. NOAA is free. If you want to go and experiment with it, by all means, it's free. Enjoy it. Yes, Mather, we'll have to wait. The guys are not doing a bad job. The guys who are working on it, if you look at Active Sky and if you look at the new screenshots that X-Enviro is bringing to the table, there's a lot of exciting things coming our way pretty soon. But, you know, it's a work in progress. And this is where we need to just chillax a little bit. Let the guys do what they need to do. Sentinel, the issue isn't flying the Boeing, the issue isn't taking off in the Boeing in the real world, the issue is landing. The 737-800 is notoriously unstable in landing because of its extended fuselage, and that is the thing that the guys who did 911 didn't have to bother about. They could fly it. I can fly it. You can probably fly it. It's easy when you have some sort of experience in the simulator, because apart from the feeling not being in the simulator, you can't feel the aircraft. There's absolutely no difference between what we are doing here and what the guys are doing in the real world. So the thing that might kill you is just going to be the landing, but the takeoff is going to be reasonably okay. You obviously just have to work the pedals properly and you know, stay on the runway, get it in the air, then you can fly it. It's easy. That's not the problem. The landing is. We've just gone over the localizer, so it's not just some aircraft in X-plane that does it. Even PMDG couldn't hold that localizer. Yeah, Cat 3, you'll do an auto land. That'll work in the real world. Then you'll be safe. Right, so in South Africa and in this place where we're flying now, we're on top of a ridge, and the mist here can sometimes drive you insane, even if you're driving in a motor vehicle. It's crazy at this point, so we're just going to cross over the ridge, and then it's like a flat land in front of us with one or two little hills, and then the airport.
Glide slow.
Oops, where did the aircraft go? Oh, there it is. Now, if any of you are familiar with a farm and you know what a piece of earth looks like after it's been plowed, there's a famous pilot here in South Africa that coined this phrase. He said, if you land at Lanseria in summer, it's like driving over a plowed field. You get the same idea because of the turbulence and everything that hits you here on the way in. Right, speed brake's armed and auto brake is armed. Oops, wrong button. Flaps 30 for landing, less than 5 miles. There we go. I have the runway lights. They come and go. Ooh. Oh, thank goodness. No, fortunately the base is higher than the ground. We just broke through. Shit, I forgot this isn't Zibo. I can't go into reverse thrust and push the throttles forward. Oops. Okay, we did it! Man, that was not bad. Thank you guys. Oh, Ali, you are here. Check, it's your airport, buddy. Yeah, no, they were definitely. Look, the speed brakes are automatically armed, and I mean they deploy automatically. Hang on a second, I'm missing some of my scenery here, or this is the wrong file that I loaded. I don't think this is your scenery, Ali. Sorry, my man. Oh, it is. There we go. I went too far. There we go. It is. I went too far. Things happen too fast. This is a short runway and it's high altitude. I mean 4,500 foot, and it's sloped. And if you noticed in the beginning, it's got like it's elevated on the one side, but it's also elevated on the other side. So you've got like an aircraft carrier flight deck. And oh yes, Mitha, I see what the argument is. Yes, now I understand. I understand what the argument is. Yes. I didn't write the program, so I'm just flying it. But yeah, this airport is a challenge to fly from. In summer, to give you guys another nice to know little fact, in summer they don't even put the baggage on this aircraft. They put it in a little bus. It goes to Joburg International, and then you wait on the other side, Cape Town or Durban, for the luggage to come, because the density altitude is too high. The guys struggle to take off with that extra weight in the aircraft. So it's another fun fact to think about. I tried to set the brakes like we do in the Ziba, and it kicked it off. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me in this flight. This was actually fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I must actually play P3D a little bit more now and then. I want to see if we can do a playback. Anybody know how to do a playback? I thought that was it. Maybe not. Tools. Options. There we go. Thank you, Sentinel. Appreciate it. I'm doing something wrong here or something. It doesn't matter. Guys, let me not waste your time there. I don't use P3D that often. You can clearly see that. I hope you have a wonderful 2019. I've mentioned this on the previous stream as well, but you guys are special. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you soon. I'll probably try to do one more stream later today if I get it right to get the time from the family. Otherwise tomorrow or the next day, and then come next week it's back to work, so I might as well do a couple of streams just to have a look out for them when they happen. If you guys have got any questions, queries, suggestions, just drop me a note on Facebook Messenger or something, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.